The chair now recognizes Mr. Downing from Montana for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the witnesses. Under the Biden administration, SBA suffered from serious mismanagement that hindered the agency's ability to support small business. Through irresponsible work-from-home policies, DEI mandates, and voter registration efforts, Biden's SBA prioritized politics and bureaucracy over the interests of Main Street America. First, Mr. Gutierrez, your testimony demonstrates the power of small business centers, or SBDCs, to assist small businesses and produce a return on taxpayer investment. So from your experience as the director of Missouri's SBDC, how do they help support rural businesses, which very often lack access to the information and training needed to thrive?
Thank you for the question. So the Missouri SBDC serves all 114 counties in the city of St. Louis. It's a large footprint across the state with 18 business service centers and 2 satellite locations with a staff of 33 full-time folks. That's simply just not enough.
Right.
Unfortunately, we are not able to have a physical presence. However, with the introduction of different technologies such as Zoom, Teams, things of that nature, we're able to reach more folks. We try to set up regional meetings where we're meeting with several different counties at once. We set up a revolving schedule to meet with different cities, so we're there on a regular basis. But simply the fact is that we're stretched thin, just like many of our other partners in the field that are front line, and we're doing as best as we can. I mentioned earlier that sometimes because of staffing issues and funding issues, it could take up to 2 weeks before they're able to see anybody in person at one of our rural business centers. We're just trying to do a lot with little.
Well, thank you. So how did the SBA's work-from-home policies under the previous administration negatively impact your SBDC?
Quite honestly, they didn't impact us at all because we were on the ground. We were meeting with the businesses on a regular basis. We knew that the SBA offices were there. We helped support them whenever possible. But during the last 3 or 4 years, we often found that traveling to the SBA offices in both Kansas City and St. Louis, unfortunately, the personnel was not there. Okay. I remember showing up for a meeting and nobody was there with a meeting with our SBA representative. So it's just a matter of, we're doing the best we can to meet the needs of small business in rural America and, of course, obviously Main Street America as well.
Thanks. According to a 2024 report from this committee, the Biden administration attempted to leverage SBDCs to promote voter registration activities. Were you ever approached by the Biden administration to support their voter registration efforts?
Fortunately, in the state of Missouri, we were not.
Do you believe the administration would have approached you if Missouri were a more competitive state in their presidential politics?
I would like to think that we would not have been approached, but I can't answer that hypothetical.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, Mr. Ortiz. In your testimony, you emphasized the truly egregious nature of SBA's political activities under the Biden administration. How have these activities damaged SBA's reputation as a reliable partner for small businesses across our country?
Thank you, Congressman, for the question. Unfortunately, small business owners just don't believe and trust in the SBA anymore. I think they look to other partners outside of the SBA. And quite frankly, there are a lot of great partners out there. Golden Snacks, American Express, for example, runs some fantastic small business programs. Mr. Gutierrez runs great programs as well. So I think what we need to do is we need to restore confidence in the SBA.
And what steps can SBA take to restore confidence with small business?
Well, I mentioned already in the testimony, I think part of it is we got to move resources out to the fields, better resources, more effective resources. I think, certain folks were let go. I would question and make the question is maybe they should have been let go because they weren't exactly the most effective resources for our small business owners. We need to make sure that we ensure people who have the experience to be able to make suggestions, for example, on how to create small business plans for our small business owners. We talk a lot about, and the left talked about, the Democrats talked a lot about establishing small businesses need certainty, for example. Well, if they needed certainty, I wonder why they didn't vote, for example, in the last budget, the budget bill, none of them voted for a budget that included the extension of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act.
And how important do you think that is for Main Street America, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act?
It's hugely important. In 2017, with the Tax and Jobs Act, that provided the impetus for the successful economy that we had. Was the two biggest parts of the small business needs were the tax deduction and the immediate expense.
Gentleman's time has expired.